If you do not train your mind to be stronger, you will not see changes in your physique. You will not get physical changes. You will not lose the weight. You will not build your dream physique. You won't have any of those things. And the way that I learned that was because in achieving my transformation, I did it at first without paying attention to the mindset at all. I over restricted, I overtrained, I tried to fight what I was feeling, my emotions, my weak mindset with malnutrition, not eating enough, and overtraining. And that was not the way to go. I burnt out. I inevitably fell right back where I started. I struggled with binging even more when I went through this process. And today we're going to be discussing mindset, how to build a strong mindset to get physical results. Because everything starts in the mind, your lifestyle, your body, your circumstances are all a reflection of how well you've built your mental strength. So if you don't start with building mental strength, you will forever fall back to square one every single time. And if you've made a little bit of progress, that's why it's unsustainable. That's why you get burnt out. That's why you can't sustain it. That's why you maybe lose 10 pounds and then gain it all back. Or maybe you're consistent for 1 week, but then you can't stick to it after that. Or maybe you're consistent for 1 month, but then you give up. It's because you're not training your mindset. You're trying to throw yourself into a calorie deficit. You're trying to start going to the gym without paying attention to the root cause of the problem. Your body, maybe being a little bit overweight, maybe you don't look how you want to, maybe your life isn't how you want your life to be. Those are all symptoms of the root cause of a poor mindset. So, I'm going to start this video off by reading something from this book that I'm reading. This is what sparked this whole video. Was I was reading this and I was like, I need to share this. This is so amazing, and this is what encapsulates the transformation of your mindset and can maybe help break some limiting beliefs that you have, okay? Now, I'm just going to get right into it, read it to you guys. This is the book called The Obstacle is the Way. It's really good, and nothing can get truer than that. Like, whatever challenges you is the direction you should run in. A lot of people turn around because they think it's a red flag, when if something is challenging you, you should dive right into that. It is not a sign that you should stop. It's a sign that you should explore. Okay, but too many people are scared, too many people can't handle it, so they just turn around. That's why nobody transforms, and that's why nobody makes progress, right? This is from the book. Once you start attacking an obstacle, quitting is not an option. It cannot enter your head. Abandoning one path for another that might be more promising? Sure. But that's a far cry from giving up. Once you can envision yourself quitting altogether, you might as well ring the bell. It's done. Consider this mindset. Never in a hurry, never worried, never desperate, never stopping short. Why do most people give up? Because it's not happening as fast as they want it to. They're scared of wasting their time. They're scared of wasting their effort. And so they quit. They have all this mental chaos and mental noise being like, oh, I've been doing this for 2 weeks, nothing's changed, or, oh, I wish this would happen a lot faster, or they're desperate for the results. They're desperate to look a certain way. They're desperate to lose the weight because they're rooted in insecurity. You need to face that insecurity. You need to accept it, and you need to let it make you mentally stronger. You need to be able to feel those things and still make rational decisions. Don't care about the timeline. Don't care about anything apart from the fact that you agreed to be on this path and you will ride the wave until the wave is over. And once you accept that, you're not you remove so much mental chaos. What are you stressed about? What are you in a hurry for? You're going to do it when it ends, and that's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. But those of us who want the transformation to happen in 2 months, 2 weeks, whatever, when you impose that timeline on yourself, you're adding unnecessary stress that will build up and build up and build up until you cannot handle it anymore, and then you'll give up. Okay, but I'm going to continue reading from this book, and then I'll continue to expound on it. So the book presents this quote: persist and resist. Persist in your efforts, resist giving into distraction, discouragement, or disorder. There's no need to sweat this or feel rushed, no need to get upset or despair. You're not going anywhere. You're not going to be counted out. You're in this for the long haul. Because when you play all the way to the whistle, there's no reason to worry about the clock. You know you won't stop until it's over, that every second is available is yours. Every second available is yours to use, so temporary setbacks aren't discouraging. They are just bumps along a long road that you intend to travel all the way down. Doing new things invariably means obstacles. A new path is, by definition, uncleared. Only with persistence and time can we cut away debris and remove impediments. Only in struggling with the impediments that made others quit can we find ourselves on untrodden territory. Only by persistence and resisting can we learn what others were too impatient to be taught. It is so easy to make this transformation when you realize that people aren't making it because they're too impatient to remain steadfast towards the goal. That's it. Impatience will kill you every single day. That pressure of impatience that you're imposing on yourself because you're desperate for the result is what makes everyone quit. And it's why a lot of people don't get it. It's not that you don't know what to do, it's that you're not willing to go long enough. That it's so, you don't have to be a genius. As I'm going to read here in the book, you don't have to be smart. Like, people making these transformations aren't any different than you. They are just, well, they're different in you. They're different than you in the sense that they're willing to stay on track for longer than you are. That's it. They can handle the unknown. They can handle the timeline. The timeline is always going to be longer than you expect. And the minute that you accept that, the easier it's going to be. The stress that you remove off of your shoulders when you're like, I don't care if it happens today, tomorrow, 2 weeks, 3 months, whatever. Be okay with making that transformation for the betterment of yourself. Be okay with it taking like longer than 2 weeks. All right, I'm going to get back into the book. It's okay to be discouraged. It's not okay to quit. To know you want to quit, but to plant your feet and keep inching closer until you take the impenetrable forces you've decided to lay siege to in your own life, that's persistence. Edison once explained that in inventing, the first step is an intuition and comes with a burst, then difficulties arise. When set, Edison, apart from other inventors, is tolerance for these difficulties and the steady dedication with which he applied himself towards solving them. In other words, it's supposed to be hard. Your first attempts aren't going to work. It's going to take a lot out of you, but energy is an asset we can always find more of. It's a renewable resource. Stop looking for an epiphany and start looking for weak points. Stop looking for angels and start looking for angles. There are options. Settle in for the long haul and then try each and every possibility. You'll get there. When we ask, my fault. You're going to be like, this bitch ain't never read this before. Yes, I have. I'm just stuttering. When people ask where we are, what we're doing, how the situation is coming along, the answer should be clear. We're working on it, we're getting closer. When setbacks come, we respond by working twice as hard. And that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. Because at the end of the day, these people that you maybe hold on a pedestal, or maybe you say that they have some certain thing about them that makes them have what you want and it's impossible for you because they're different. They're not different, they are persistent, right? And persistence requires you to be patient. The people that actually like get results, make the transformation, are usually the people who can identify that it's not going to happen as fast as they want it to, and they let go of that right off the bat. And I can speak on this because I have felt that pressure of it needs to happen immediately because I was rooted in desperation due to the insecurity that I had in myself. I was not confident at all, and I hated feeling the way that I did. Every single day I woke up like, I wish that everything was different, everything was better, and I wasn't the way that I was. And because I woke up feeling that way, it caused for me to be very desperate, leading for me to make stupid decisions because I wanted things to happen in such a short time frame. And that is why most people fail. They have the lens in their glasses or whatever, like they're looking through rose-colored lenses, except the rose is your insecurity, and it almost skews your perception of reality. So you will do things like over-restrict, overtrain, everything in your power to get the fastest result possible, when in reality you are setting yourself up for failure. Actually, I will throw a little picture right up here of exactly what I'm talking about. You need to essentially accept right off the bat that you're going to do the hard work, that you don't care how long it takes, because you can make pretty good progress in 3 months, right? We'll use my journey for example. And looking at this picture over here, you can make pretty good headway first if you just go at it, balls to the wall, and you try to get the fastest result possible. But inevitably, you will crash, and so now you have to climb damn near vertically out of a hole to get to the peak, when you could have just taken a linear path if you had understood that you need to be patient and persistent to get there. And the reason why I see most people give up is because it's frustration paired with a lack of knowledge. And the reason that you're frustrated is because of your own desperation that you refuse to let go of. When you understand that, like, you spent your entire life getting you to the point where you feel stuck now, it's not going to change overnight. It's not going to change in maybe a few weeks. It should change in at least a few months to a few years, but you being desperate for it only increases your suffering for literally no reason. Like, absolutely no reason. And a lot of the times we try to fix that desperation by moving faster on the journey instead of investigating why we feel desperate. Why do we feel insecure in ourselves? Because yes, we may feel insecure in our body, we may feel insecure in other things that we do, but that's still a symptom of a root somewhere in our mindset, which leads me full circle back to the fact that if you do not develop your mind to be strong, do not ever expect your body to also be strong. Wherever your mind goes, your body will follow, your life will follow, your circumstances will follow. But a lot of the times we're not willing to put in the mental strength because it does not feel great. It is hard, it is difficult. That's why I run. You think I like running? Not really. Not particularly. But at a young age, I discovered that I fucking hated it. And so I signed up for cross country when I was in high school. And there I ran my first 3 miles ever. So we would just run 5Ks. And I was like, okay, this is bearable, but I hated it. And signing up made me have to go to practice Tuesdays and Thursdays and run before I went to school. It increased my capacity for what I could handle by throwing more on my plate and making myself figure it out. And then as I got older, I started implementing running even when I didn't want to do it, even when it's not the best form of cardio for fat loss. So even on my bodybuilding prep, I ran like there was one time where I had to do like 2.5 hours of cardio, and I ran for like 16, 17 miles, something like that. Um, it's purely what I do for the mental training because the minute I realized that it all tied back to my mentality and I focused all my efforts into building mental strength, everything changed for me. I saw a physique that I'd never seen before when trying to just focus on whatever would just get me the best results physically. I felt better as a person. I got more patient. I became a better friend, a better version of Megan. I became a better partner. I used to be like a terrible version of myself, and I wanted to be better, which is what initially sparked me to start going to the gym because I paid attention to my insecurities and how I was feeling. And at one point, I was like, okay, it is my responsibility to change. Now, even when I decided that, I still took the wrong approach by focusing on my calorie deficit and my training to fix problems that were rooted in my mentality, but I tried to fix it with physical things instead of paying attention to how can I train my brain to be able to be stronger to handle the tough times when you're trying to lose weight, the mental warfare that nutrition feels like at times, the mental warfare that it feels that you feel within yourself when you're trying to get yourself to go train when that's the last thing that you want to do. I started focusing on everything I could do to increase my capacity for what I could tolerate. And that is when I actually started to get results, and the results were easy to keep, and I was able to grow because I increased my mental capacity, my mental strength, my mental threshold that allowed me to experience stress, whether it be around nutrition, life, training, anything, my circumstances, whatever. And building myself up to be a person that could handle that is exactly what allows me to continue to be persistent and patient. Because it's not easy to be persistent and patient. If it was, everybody would do it. But you have to have some sort of belief that once you decide you're going to do something, that it's inevitable, and you have to remove that need for it to happen overnight, that need for you to have a guarantee, because you won't. You'll never have the assurance or the guarantee that you're looking for that it's going to work out, and you have to learn how to provide that for yourself. You have to learn how to tell yourself that if I keep showing up every single day, I learn from my mistakes, and I continue to be persistent, it will work out for me. It may not work out for me tomorrow. It may not work out for me in 2 weeks. But if I keep going, there is absolutely no reason why it won't work out for me, even if it is in 5 years. Now, if you're on a physique journey, if you're on a health journey, if you're trying to transform your physique, it should not take you 5 years. But let's just put it into perspective that you need to be okay with it taking longer. That way, when it doesn't happen overnight, because realistically, it probably won't, you'll be okay. And there is no better feeling than experiencing something and having the ability to lead yourself through it. And I did not have this when I was younger. And I would always lean on other things. Like whenever I had a tough time, I would binge eat. And that would be what kind of like comforted me in the moment. And then it led for me to gain some weight, feel like whenever I struggled with binge eating a lot. My face was always really puffy and I had like a very inflamed chin. And I naturally have a round face, but whenever I would binge eat a lot, I would carry a lot of weight in my face. And so that was a struggle for me. And I would do that to cope with the situations that I didn't know how to lead myself through. And I didn't understand that every time I decided to binge eat when things got tough, when I had stress, or I decided to binge drink, or I decided to smoke, or I decided to go get blackout drunk with my friends because I didn't want to think about the stress, I didn't want to feel it, I didn't want to face my situation, I was just adding salt to the wound. Is that a quote? Is that what they say? Is that the adding insult to injury. There's some kind of quote where it's like you're in a terrible situation and you make it worse. I'm sure you guys know what I'm saying, but that was only making it worse. Even though it felt good in the moment, I was taking like 10 steps back when I should have just faced it head on. I should have had the assurance and the confidence and the trust in myself that I was going to be able to get through it. I was going to be able to lead myself through it, and I didn't need to take the 10 steps back to make myself feel better. At the time, I was a really insecure young girl that I didn't know that I could do it. I didn't have that confidence. I grew up an insecure little kid. I was riddled with anxiety since I could remember, and it's been a lot of work, mental work on my part, to be able to teach myself that I can lead myself even through my toughest times. Because another thing that I want to tell you guys is like, I go through things too. Like, we all go through stuff and go through hard things and whatever, and it's like, other people that go through it are not different than you. They might just have a different perspective or different perception. So that is why I make these videos. That's why I talk about mindset so much, because when you switch your perception or your perspective or your outlook, things change for you, right? And it's like, if you start saying, look, you're looking for a red truck, all of a sudden you see red trucks everywhere. You can radically change your life and your body by starting right here, by starting in the way that you perceived situation. I want to end this video by encouraging you to adopt the mindset of never in a hurry, never worried, never desperate, and never stopping short. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. I just wanted to post this today to encourage you guys. If you're having a tough time, if you don't know what to do, build yourself up to be the person who leads yourself through these battles and through these struggles. And the minute that you do that, there is absolutely nothing that will be able to get you down. As always, don't forget to do hard shit, be confident, and have the courage to be uncomfortable. But most importantly, remember how much I'm rooting for you guys, how much I love you guys. I'll link my Instagram and the application to coaching in the description of this video. If you have any questions or need anything from me at all, get back to you on Instagram with a voice message. And if you're a good fit for coaching, I'll personally reach out to you. I love you guys so much. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. I'm rooting for y'all, and I'll see you guys in the next video.